The French uniform in World War One was ridiculous. Traditionalists wanted to keep the uniform blue and red, giving absolutely no camouflage to the soldiers whatsoever. They eventually changed it to a purple-brown colour that used blue, red and white dyes to appease the traditionalists, but it needed a blue dye that came from Germany, so they changed their uniform to a light blue uniform called Horizon Blue, using the two other colours. It was meant to camouflage you with the horizon, but it didn't really help considering that you were in a muddy environment. They wore a helmet called the Adrian helmet to replace the kepi cap, a cap that provided no protection. The Adrian helmet provided very basic protection for the head against shrapnel and greatly reduced shrapnel-related injuries and deaths. However, it provided no protection against bullets, so it was the first piece of equipment to be left behind on the battlefield. The soldiers used the Lebel Model 1886 rifle. It was known to be reliable on the battlefield and to be quite accurate. It also used smokeless powder ammunition. However, there were some limitations to it. It was slow to reload and didn't have a wooden handguard, which meant that you would burn your hand after shooting it for a while. The French would also have a bayonet called the French nail. It would be made out of pieces of scrap metal from metal posts. It was a very makeshift weapon that shows you how the French were doing in World War One in terms of resources. The French used the F1 grenade. It was a new, modern grenade that had grooves on it to give a better grip and to have easier fragmentation. It would fragment into 10 pieces, even though it was meant to fragment into 38 pieces. It was also way more reliable than any other grenades at the time, and it ended up being used by the USA, the USSR, Finland, and more. The French also made the M2 gas mask. It was made to provide protection from gas for around 5 hours.
The British soldiers' uniform was quite well designed. They changed the designs throughout the war, but they kept the main design the same. Soldiers went to war in August 1914 dressed with the 1902 pattern service dress tunic, which came with trousers and a normal tunic. The tunic was made with thick wool and had been dyed with khaki dye, which is a special color. The tunic was the shade of the tunic was to camouflage the soldiers in the surrounding area, unlike the French troops. The soldiers went to war with the Brodie helmet. It is a steel combat helmet designed and patterned in the London 1915 by John Leopold Brodie. It was modified from becoming this helmet, steel mark helmet in Britain. It was called the Scharfel helmet, or the Tommy helmet, or the tin helmet by the enemy troops. The helmet provided okay defense from the shrapnel on the top of the head, but provided no defense from the face, neck, and sides. It was definitely one of the first things the soldiers left behind, because it was classed as dead weight and useless. Soldiers went out while using the Lille Enfield as their main combat rifle. The Lille Enfield was a bolt-action rifle, and it was used from 1895 to 1957. The World War I version was referred as the Smile, which was a short magazine Lille Enfield variant. It was also known as quite a reliable weapon. It was thought to be very accurate, but had a very small magazine. Therefore, it was quite often dropped and picked up for the Germans' rifles. The Lille Enfield was adapted to fire the .303 British service cartridge, which is a rimmed high-powered rifle round. The British bayonet was also only permitted in use in a raid defense or a charge on enemy trenches. The British used a gassed hood in 1915, but it seemed unreliable, so they borrowed the French design.